I'm quitting YouTube.
But I just, if I'm honest with you guys, don't want to do this anymore.
So I'm taking a break.
There it is. That's it. Send tweet.
On this episode, we discuss, should we quit YouTube even though we just started?
I'm walking the streets of nowhere. I'm playing the game with no regrets. I'm crawling out from the gutters. Clown and the Joker's all you guess.
Today we're talking about a lot of people on YouTube, large creators are either slowing down with their video production or altogether quitting YouTube. Dustin kind of alerted me to this a week ago, a few days ago. And so I watched a few of the videos and I have a lot of thoughts.
So, I could give you kind of the list of the creators that I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's just people that I watch. There definitely are more. But like I felt that this little, 5-person list was kind of all over the place as far as like niche and genre of stuff. So you have the big one that just happened within like the last week and a half was Matt Pat from Game Theory, Film Theory, Style Theory, Food Theory. He's got 4 channels. He's got 4 channels that he runs and is the face of on all 4 of them. He's stepping away.
And
now,
just to clarify, because it's different for different people, what does stepping away mean for him?
So for Matt, he is quitting full-time being the face of these channels.
Okay. Are the channels going away? Like, they're stopping the new videos?
No, he's been training the new people.
He's franchising.
So,
he's McDonald's turned into a franchise. He's not quitting. He's just getting smart.
Well, and that's what he states in his video too. He said he's still going to be there for like maybe productive meetings and stuff like that. But as far as like being in front of the camera and doing all the voiceovers for all the videos and all of that, like he's just going to be, okay, you guys got it. And he kind of goes further into it or whatever.
Right. Basically
just to spend more time with his family. He's been doing it for like 10 years, over 10 years, I think. He's basically, and it's him and his wife that have the channels, and he was like, all we do, we sit out on the dinner table and we talk about work. And I want to not have to do that. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Another one, slightly different bit of content. I've never heard of him before until this. Tom Scott.
Tom Scott. I've seen his stuff before. In fact, I wouldn't say like I think I'm subscribed, but I don't watch him the way that I watch other YouTubers where I'm like waiting for the next video to come out. But anytime I see his videos, I'm like, oh, I need to pop in there and watch that real quick because it's usually a really interesting subject and it's usually very, very well researched. Like his videos seem like there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, he does. I went through and I watched a few other videos that he's had, and then I also watched like his goodbye video or whatever. And I mean, he does like not experiments. He tries stuff,
right?
Like wild stuff. Like I want to fly from a big old balloon with like these like hand paddles or something. Like that was one of the examples. But it's, I don't know, it's like a scientific kind of channel, I guess you can say. But he gave himself 10 years and then said, okay, today is the 10-year and I'm going to take a break from this for a while. I'll still put up videos maybe if I have a cool idea. But he kind of wanted to get away from, he likes creating. He likes making the videos.
Right.
But he wanted to get away from, I don't want to have to hire people. I don't want to have to like be a business. And it was turning into a business. Another one that we both watch, Matty Hapoya, he's quitting for a year, YouTube. He's still doing cinema stuff, whatever. But he had, of course, he said that, and then he like put out 3 videos already for the year, but his timeline got backed up or whatever.
Right.
But he's a like a filmmaking, travel vlog style, camera equipment review, stuff like that. Another one which is more animation. It's a guy. His channel name is Meat Canyon. He's taking a break from doing the animation side of it because he said it's not been fulfilling, all his animations and stuff like that. Meat Canyon's very grotesque animations. I think they're hilarious, but they're just it's not for everybody.
Right.
But he's still doing his other channel and stuff like that too. But he like kind of lost the love of doing his animations.
I think a lot of these, another one that I saw recently was DSLR Shooter, which actually he's helped me quite a bit
great.
learn how to do a lot of this stuff the past year.
Yeah.
He explained that his personal life was so tied up, like his self-worth was so tied up in his videos and the numbers and the analytics and how well they performed and how much money he was making from them, right? And when they didn't do as well as his height, like the height of his success, it felt like a personal attack against his personality, like his sense of self. And the pressure to make a new video, especially in that genre, I would imagine is a lot. The kind of through line that I see out of these, and I'd be interested to see what you kind of think, is that these are creators that really outgrew, in some senses, what they wanted to do in the space. They looked for more growth. In some cases, they added staff. They grew too large. And eventually, when you start out as on YouTube, most people like us, we just want to make cool videos. Maybe we just want to talk with friends and put it out there for others to see. When you start getting success, with that success comes money. With that money comes lifestyle. With lifestyle comes responsibility. And that hobby that you had is now a responsibility. It's your income. It is your sense of self-worth, right? It's not just, you go to work and you do a good job. Now, like a salesman, you have numbers that are attached and analytics that are attached to the work that you're doing that started out as just something creative to bring you joy. And now it is directly tied to, your self-worth.
Yep.
And so I think that is, I don't think it's a trap of YouTube. I think it's a eventuality for everyone that's doing this. But I do think there are things that you can do, or there are things that watching the videos that taught me, especially because we're just so early in all of this, the things that I really desperately want us to avoid, or at least I want to avoid, right?
Yeah.
And that's like hiring out staff. I want to do everything between the two of us as much as we can, so that if one of us wakes up one morning and doesn't want to do this anymore, we don't have to lay off 10 people,
Yep. That's the big thing, man. Because a few of the channels that I had seen that were like that was another one, Jordy from Cinecom, which was another like filmmaking tutorial. He's got a staff of people, and
that's a lot of pressure, especially with, it's not like another job. It's not like, you own a restaurant and, I'm going to take a step back from the restaurant and hire a really good manager, and people are still going to come because the quality of the food is still good. The product is good. With YouTube, in a lot of senses, you are the product.
Yep.
And that's scary.
I'm scared for Matt Pat, because like his channels have been around for forever. Like Game Theory is such an iconic thing, and they're like video essays, right? Game Theory, Film Theory, video essays, and it's the same little cardboard cutout little animation of an old school pic from Matt Pat, but it's his voiceover. You know, it's been Matt Pat as the game theorist. So it's gonna be interesting seeing the new people, you know, on their stuff, and I hope it doesn't tank the channels. I don't think it will,
Yeah.
just because of the like the IP of it essentially, but
you know, and they have, you know, hopefully the goodwill of their viewers that are going to give it a good shot, right? Like,
yeah,
they're going to have a prove it period where they have a lot of
Yep.
subscribers and they can prove that the content is still really good.
yep. What's cool about his stuff, and I don't want to talk about Matt Pat like all the time.
Sure.
But a lot of the guys, the cats that are going to be in the camera now are the editors that have been editing videos for years for him. They're just going to step in front of the camera and do that. So it's going to be the same. Hopefully it'll be all the same stuff, just a different voice and face, really. So I think they have done it the right way, so that way Matt can step back and do what he's got to do, you know.
That's another interesting thought. It's a thought that I just had, is that, you know, there are other channels that made that transition quicker, to full-blown business, full-blown, you know, huge staff. You know, I'm thinking of Mythical, right?
Yeah.
But Mythical kind of did it completely opposite, and I think that that's why they have their sustained success. That's what it is. It's the two words.
It's
Sustained.
the 2 words.
The success that they've had, that they've been able to sustain, is that they have other characters and they brought other characters on, and they can pump out. Yes, they're pumping out 5 videos a week, or actually probably 10 videos a week with Rhett and Link on there. But their creative process is, you know, they have writers that write the games that they play. They have video editors. Like they
have a full production staff. I mean,
they're just doing the on-camera stuff.
Yep.
I don't know how long there's kind of like there's a spot where you get too big and you need to make the jump into one or the other, right? You either get so big that you need to do that. You need to go mythical, and you need to take a big chance, and you need to build a company, and you need to do a bunch of stuff, and you have to hire more creatives and all this other stuff. But then that you have that ability to continue your success, and you're not always dependent upon you know?
Yeah.
Or you have to take a really hard look at what you're doing and say, is this too much for us? Like you and I, like if there becomes a point where it's like, you know, one or the other, I'm going to try to stay as small as we can for as long as we can, because the other part is like, some people jump and it is their livelihood. It's the only money they have coming in. And so when a video tanks, when a video doesn't go well, that's money. That is like food, you know? And that type of pressure, I can understand why you would want to quit or take a year off or anything like that, because that's scary.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
Courtney and I were talking
totally
yesterday. I was like, I'm keeping my job for as long as like even if we have success, and there's no guarantee we'll have any semblance of success, but if we do, it's like, I'm going to try to get both incomes and live like I'm only living on one, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to freaking work my tail off and
Right.
lose sleep, but still be able to make money and do something that I love to do.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a big thing with a lot of them that are quitting. They're like, we got too big and I didn't want to go that business route, but in order to sustain the monster that it became, well, I had to do that. But I enjoyed, or, you know, the person, whoever it may be, they enjoyed making the content, like editing, shooting it, being the face, you know. So whenever you like give up that creative freedom, or that just the creative portion of the project, the stuff that you enjoyed doing from the get-go is why you probably started doing it, then that kind of that throws your for fun stuff becomes work,
Right.
and it should just be fun.
Right. If we think about it, so a language that we both mutually speak is, musicians and music, right?
Yeah.
You think about like just starting to play drums, getting new drum heads is fun. Changing out the drum heads is fun. Moving cymbals around and setting up your drums is fun. I love doing it. Like, let's try this new setup. Let's do this. As drummers and musicians get more successful, though, and they have more gigs, all of that stuff becomes less fun. When you're playing, 200 shows a year, you don't want to spend any time changing drum heads. You don't want to spend any time setting up cymbals, tuning, doing the sound, because it takes away. It would take, if a drummer did that for all of his gigs, it would take all day, every day. And that's kind of what's happening to YouTubers, is that when you're very early on and you're kind of on your own schedule and you don't have any responsibility to the craft, it's just for you. Setting up new camera rigs is fun. Editing videos is fun. Messing with lights is fun.
Yep.
But when you have a machine and responsibility, I can see where that pressure of like, instead of just playing around with stuff, now you have to get it right. Now you have a certain level of quality that is expected of you. Good Mythical Morning, when they moved to a different format a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 or 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, they mess with their lights and their audio at the exact same time.
Oh.
And casual viewers noticed there was a green tint to their color grade, and the audio is picking up just a little bit of reverb. Totally passable stuff. But that any small YouTube channel would be fine with, and no one would bat an eye. But because it was mythical, everyone noticed, and they got hounded and just absolutely destroyed in their mentions, in their comments, by their own fans.
Yep. Dude, that's the other thing. Like, I'm afraid whenever we do get sort of a bigger audience, because the comment section, dude, YouTube viewers are ruthless, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I think just in life, people are ruthless. And anyone behind a keyboard has the
all the courage in the world.
Courage, they have courage. Yeah. That's scary. There's a lot of scary stuff about YouTube. Success absolutely becomes scary. Even the money that comes with success on YouTube does get scary at the same time, because especially if you're doing a partnership like this, like if one of us decides like I'm burnt out, that means the other person has to make a decision. And do I just start doing stuff on my own? Like, I get where they're coming from, is I guess the long-winded way of saying that,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and then especially if it's cutting into your personal life, like your work at that point, at that level. Yeah. If it's cutting into your personal life, then I mean, there's got to be some separation there. And so they found the separation the only way that they could, essentially.
I think too, you see a lot of, I'm going to take a break this year. I'm not going to be doing 3 videos a week. I'm going to drop it back to 1, that type of stuff. Yeah. I also think what's important and what's happening there is YouTubers are starting to set boundaries with their audience, which is very healthy. And I don't think was happening a lot before. Because people want more, you put more out. But I think that healthy boundary of, look, if I don't do a video this week, it's because I have a life and it just didn't happen this week. And I don't really owe y'all anything. Yep. Right?
I hope it makes it like pushes more of a change to the platform, so that way like creators can be creative again and not just throw out videos to appease the algor dragon that they've been fighting, and to the audience needs we have a schedule, blah blah blah. Like, no, you can. This is a creative platform. You can do what you want. Like, what is it? Artist subjective. So
that is a good point that you just brought up too. Is I wonder if there's any reaction on. I doubt it, because it's not. There are always more and more people that will create, and there are people that will jump into those spots that those other creators were in. But I wonder how much of the algorithm, or as we like to call it, the algo dragon, has to do with this, because one of the things that is taught and preached by YouTube and successful creators is consistency.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're doing it once a month, doesn't matter if you're doing it once a week, doesn't matter if you're doing it 5 days a week. Whatever your release schedule is, hit that release schedule at the same time, in the same frequency. And we're doing that. We're Tuesdays at 7 a.m., but you know, that does prove challenging. Like I know it proves challenging for you, Dustin, because you're responsible for edits.
Well, and then, I mean, this episode particular is a pretty timely one because of everybody's talking about the YouTubers quitting and everything. And like all of this is kind of happening. So, you know, this is going to come out the Tuesday in 2 days.
It's Sunday.
We're recording it on Sunday.
Right.
You know, so like while you're watching this was 2 days ago. So, you know, with stuff like this, you want to have it come out in a timely fashion, because if we put it out next month, well, that's old news.
Right. So I edit,
you know,
the Win Now or Get Bent. I have about a 2-hour turnaround.
Oh,
you know, I mean, it's when you're doing sports content and all, you know, it's so I get where the burnout can come from. I totally do. Yeah. I'm still having fun with it. I mean, look, at the end of the football season, I was having less fun than I was having at the beginning of the football season.
That's like marching band, right?
Yeah,
like, please don't go to the playoffs. But like, that'd be cool, but please don't.
Yeah. You were always, the end of marching season for me was always, even after my first semester, was, am I going to do this next year? And for the first month, usually every January and February, I was like, I'm not doing marching band again. And then by March and April, I'd start missing it. And like the camps that come up in the summer, I'm like, oh, I got it, you know?
Yeah.
So I get that. And maybe that's a more workable relationship with YouTube, is that maybe it should be a little bit more like broadcast television for some folks, where shows go on hiatus or shows go, you know, Survivor's done 2 seasons every year for like 20 years. But there's months where they're not releasing Survivor episodes, you know,
well, I mean, with that point, I mean, your broadcast television, like those shows don't make money whenever they are, well, they don't make as much money whenever they are not recording, right? Or if they're not regularly played, I should say, like, you know, your direct TV, your satellite TV, those shows aren't in rotation because the season's ended or whatever, or they'll play reruns. You'll get a little bit of money from that, I think. Or like, you know, well, in theory, you would get a little bit from that.
Well, it's all ad revenue, right? And so that's the big difference in YouTube and network television, is that a network has a host of shows that they're doing on rotation with, you know, a whole different directors and actors and all this other stuff. YouTube, you have a YouTube channel, it's you. And you're responsible for putting out content for your viewers in a timely manner.
Yep.
And that's a lot of pressure.
That's a bunch. Well,
you ready to quit? Are we done?
Oh, well, I mean, we're at 30, and then we had like 4 minutes before that.
I meant quit YouTube. Quit altogether. Like, are we
I thought you were talking about the episode. I was like, I mean, we're kind of at the time limit, you know?
Oh, man, I feel like this was like a more serious conversation than what we've had. But it's also important. I mean, because it's the platform, but also in life as well. As soon as hobbies start turning into work, you have to make that decision. You have to make that decision on, am I happy doing this for work? You're never going to be as happy as you were when it was a hobby, but you have to make that decision. Like, can I still have the joy in it?
Yep. What is it? If you, what is the adage, the whatever, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life or something like that. Yeah. I probably got that wrong, but it's the principle still.
I want to find that guy that's never worked a day, because I've met a lot of people in my life, and everybody says they work at some point. You know,
that guy who never worked a day is on a beach somewhere. That's why we haven't seen him, because he's gone.
It's the people that say that are the guys that like lucked out and invested in Apple, and like they're like a stock trader. Like, oh, if you love your job, what's your job? Well, I call my guy that has all my money and see if my money's making money. You know, I love my job. You know.
Yeah. Who is it? My boss usually, like, we'll go to client places and stuff. They're like, oh, how's business? He said, well, I'm going to mess it up. Or I don't know. Never mind. I can't remember. I suck.
Cut it.
I'm cutting it. Yeah, it's cut it. It's getting cut.
Anyways, so more serious conversation today. I hope y'all enjoy that. You know, maybe you don't. Yeah, I think it's also a little bit more serious for us. Not that it matters that much, but like last week we had a video that like had no views. So for us, we're just in the throes of like, oh man, like
it went up one.
Yeah,
one view for the last like 3 days.
I think that's just part of it, man. But like, think about it this way, you know, because I say we took it hard. I don't think we care that much because we have perspective on it. But
yeah,
think about that loss in viewership for a big channel.
Yep.
Honestly, if we were a big channel and we had like millions and millions of views and that same percentage drop off happened.
Well, it's about half. I mean, we did average. We did like 40 to 42, 43.
We hit about 20.
We got 18 on this.
So if a video comes out and it has half in your livelihood is based on that, woof. Woo, buddy.
Just imagine you just got half your paycheck from your normal job because of underperformance.
Yeah. I thought about it maybe like 3 or 4 times this week. Like just in passing, like I'd go check it and be like, if that were to happen and we were actually making money and this is our livelihood, I'd be thinking about it all week. I'd still be thinking about it now.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be nervous.
I know. You'd be stressing out about it. You'd be like, what the heck's going on?
You know me. Yeah. I'd be super stressed.
Mallett, we got to do something. We got to change the thumbnail. Let's try a new title.
Oh, dude. If we were a big channel, we would have changed that thumbnail a lot. I would be in that thumbnail. That thumbnail would be changed every 5 minutes until people started watching it.
I actually changed that thumbnail 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
it's one of the things that's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen, and I'm here for it, man. As long as it gets 1 view, I'm all right. If it ever, if a video ever just chills at 0, we might have to reconsider.
Yeah, we'll take it down and then re-up.
Yeah, exactly.
The Alga Dragon didn't like that one, so we're going to throw it back at it and then have him toss it out again.
So let's do this too. So the last thing before we leave, I think it is healthy to reconsider this type of stuff. And I think this December we should chat on a pod about where we're at with it and what we're going to do. Right? Because I think that, I have no plans of stopping this. I'm enjoying it. And I'll, again, we have our 12-month challenge of videos. Not that anyone knows because they didn't watch the video. But we're each doing 1 video on our own channels. I think in December we sit down and we talk about the year and, we make that decision on what does 2025 look like. Because I'm dedicated to this year. We're putting out 1 video a week for 52 weeks this year.
Yeah.
That's not that much really if you think about it.
It's not really that much. It's a video a week and it's not like it's hard content either.
Right.
It's not like going out, I gotta set up a production, you gotta Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah. Well, it was nice chatting with you as always, my guy.
Absolutely.
I don't think we have any passing things. Love you.
As a wise friend once told me, we did the dang thing.
We did the dang thing. All right, man. All right, buddy. Love you.
Love you, dude.
Peace.
See you.